Annika, and in this video, which is a part 2 in my little kind of Disney career 3-part series, where in the first video I cover the Disney college program. In this video I'll be covering the professional internship, and in my next video I'll be covering my professional career and how I landed a full-time role with Disney Technology. Little disclaimer that I did say in my prior video, but due to COVID-19, I don't know when the next internships will be offered. I do currently still work for the company, but these are all my personal thoughts, opinions, and experiences, and kind of my take on everything, so hopefully it will help you out. So I'll kind of start with my personal experience with my Disney Professional Internship and jump right into questions that I asked on my Instagram story. So let's talk about internships. Well, I'm not gonna do this with my ears on. I just can't do that. But I got these when I finished my professional internship. These are the grad ears that you normally see like CPs wear, but interns get to go to the same graduation that the CPs go to, so like we get these too. My little alumni association. There's like, yeah, Mickey Mouse on the back, Disney college program. Even though, or it's like Disney internships and other crap. So, how did I get an internship with Disney? Well, I applied and was qualified and did well in my interview and then got the job. Simple as pie, you can do it too. I graduated from Chapman University in Southern California with my computer science degree, and I knew I didn't want to be like a programmer all day or anything like that, and I wasn't really sure kind of what type of role I wanted to get into. So I was looking at all the internship descriptions and I saw one that was like digital travel trade product intern. Now what the heck does that all mean?
Hello, editing Annika here. I did a terrible job explaining what my internship was, but to sum it up, I worked on special ticket offers such as Florida resident discount tickets and things like that, and I made sure that they showed up on our website. If you typed in like disneyworld.disney.go.com to go buy tickets, that they showed up there all good and that they launched successfully, to sum it up. Okay, back.
So that was the internship I did receive an offer for, and I was super stoked on it, even though before going into it, I honestly had no idea what I was going to be doing. I wanted to see kind of more of like the business side of things, and that's definitely what that role gave me exposure to. So I can kind of broaden my skills and be more well-rounded with a technical background, and now having more of like a businessy background / project management / more, but that's like the next video, I'll get into that. So some general things to kind of keep in mind that I kept in mind when applying was having a top-notch resume. And by that I mean your resume should be able to be sent through a computer and the computer says, ah, it's a match. And that kind of helps me segue into the first question I received on Instagram, was how to make my resume stand out. So this is a little bit different than applying for a CP, because now you're applying for kind of like a corporate job. And not all internships are like corporate really, but basically the transition from like working in park to kind of in office for a lot of internships. So some general resume tips that I would give, and I will always give in any video I talk about this. Keep it one page. I know that there's a lot of back and forth on this, but just keep it one page. One page. I believe that you can condense it to one page. I believe it. Keep it concise, but detailed enough to show your experience and kind of what you brought to your past experience kind of thing and what you learned from it. And this is the biggest thing, matching the keywords from the job description. If the job description says, must know these 3 coding languages, if you don't have those 3 coding languages on your resume, like, you're done. The computer already said, nope, they don't meet the requirements, they're done, gone. If it says, must have worked in Excel or must know Microsoft Office, those better all be on your resume. Like, you should be able to read the job description and then read your resume and be like, ah, what a perfect match. Like, they meet all these qualifications and these requirements, and even some of the preferred ones. Like, amazing. At least that's how I would respond if I was a computer. You don't want to put fluff on your resume. Like, if you actually haven't done something, then don't put it on there. Like, don't lie. But if you're applying for a finance role, like, you want to put maybe some of the classes that you've excelled at in college. Excelled, ha ha ha. Any projects that you've done that relate maybe to some of the skills necessary for the job. Like, you really, really want to put it out there. Tailor your resume to each different kind of job that you're applying for. You don't want to just submit the same kind of blanket resume here, everywhere to 55 jobs, because you probably won't get one. And I know that's super common with people wanting to get an internship with Disney, is that they'll just apply to any which one that maybe sounds interesting or like that they think they could do, which I get it, and I've been there. But the time around when I was actually applying for internships again and being more serious about it, I think I only applied to like 4 or 5. I don't know. And then I heard back for like 2 of them, and then I interviewed for them, and then I got one. So I would definitely say quality over quantity is key when applying to internships. And side note, if there are some that maybe you don't think you're like fully qualified for, but there's something that you could be super interested in and you can kind of work your background and experiences to fit that, like, go for it. Like, I wasn't sure that I could be super qualified for my internship that I did get, but it turns out I was exactly the person they were looking for, like, hence why I got hired. So you don't be afraid to put yourself out on a limb. You have to really put yourself in the shoes of someone who has that role and think to yourself, is that something I could see myself doing and that I want to do? Next question, is it common to attend for 1 year? And I did get this question for the CP as well. But for internships, they are usually 6 months. I know that some Imagineering ones are like 3 months for the summer. Some might be a year, like a managerial internship, or mine was 6 months, and then you can choose to extend for up to a year. So if you're working an internship for 6 months, just know that you can only do another internship or even your same internship for another 6 months, and that's it. You can't extend after that. But it actually is common too to start with one internship for 6 months and then apply for more and then get a different one for 6 months, which is something that I definitely did and I did receive offers for, but I decided to extend my internship at the time that I had already been working at, and it turned into a full-time job. So glad I did that. And I'll go more into detail about that in my next video. Next question, how hard is it to get into the program? So I would say internships are very, very competitive, like very competitive. And especially depending on kind of what types of internships you're applying for, the competitiveness goes up. Like, I know plenty of people who wanted to be in guest relations, which that is a professional internship, or they do have roles. I'm not sure about all the details on that because I didn't work GR, but I know that is an option. I do know interns that have master's degrees, and they're applying for the same internship you are if you don't have a master's degree. And that's not to scare you, but that's just like to be real with you. Like, you're up against quite a few other people who want to work for Disney. Now, thankfully, I did find kind of a more obscure internship to apply for, and I do have a technical degree with computer science, and my background is technical. So that kind of fits a very niche, segmented section of the internships that were available and that I was eligible for. Not to say that it like wasn't competitive, it still was. So to answer the question, it's hard, but it's just like applying to any other job. You gotta make sure you're qualified. Next question, does Disney provide housing? And this is similar to kind of the college program situation. Yes, they can provide housing if you opt in, and by provide, I mean it's like subsidized housing, but you still pay, and you still share a room. I believe it's like 2 people per room in the professional internship housing, and the housing is a little bit farther from property, at least in Orlando. I don't know about California, but I do know there is a limited amount of housing available on a first come first serve basis for professional interns, and like not everyone will get a spot. So it's definitely first come first serve. Once you accept the internship, you can go apply. So if you get a late offer, like you could potentially not have an option to live in housing. But yes, do connections matter? Yes, but it's not in a sketchy way where if you know someone working at corporate, like they can just give you a job. I think the way that connections can matter are like once you're working for the company and you want to make friends with people you work with or people who are in positions that you aspire to be at. And I think connections mattered a lot once I was actually at my internship, because when I started my internship, I knew I wanted to get a full-time job with Disney. Like, that was the end goal, that was the end game. I had my bachelor's degree already and I had graduated from college, so this was my last chance to be eligible to apply to any other internships within Disney and or get a full-time job, because once my internship was over, I was a full-on adult in the real world needing to pay bills. So my mindset going in, and I told this to my manager, I think probably within the first month of me working there, is I want a full-time job. I'm here to stay. Like, if you can't give me one, I'm gonna keep applying to internships on other teams and other roles. And he said, cool, do it. And I said, awesome. So I just made sure to provide value and be an asset to the team and work really hard on my internship. And that definitely paid off and showed, because people from other teams noticed that. And I had someone from, I think, like a kind of the more technical software side of things, knew I had a computer science degree, and she literally came up to me one day and was like, hey, do you want like a software engineer internship? And I was like, yeah, maybe. Because I was just like so caught up in the moment trying to figure out what I wanted to do next step in my life. But I knew I already decided I didn't want to be a programmer all day. But just because I knew those people and I was providing value and showing kind of my worth within the company, they noticed that and they wanted to keep me around, which is basically how I got my full-time job with Disney, but that's like next video. But I was applying to other internships. I was looking at like data science kind of stuff and analytics type of things. So I was applying to any internship that like I was qualified for and could see myself doing. And I actually did receive an offer for like a data science analytic-y internship, but I was eventually offered an extension in my current role that I was in, which turned into a full-time job. So I ended up just staying where I was at. But yes, connections can matter, but they matter more when you're in the environment already. So next question, what internships are there? So there are so many professional internships, like in such a wide variety of different types of internships. Like, I don't even know. You can work in guest relations, which is in the park. There are like manager internships, also in the park or in the resorts. There are, like I was saying, data science, there's like imagineering, there's finance, there's like show lighting. I think there's like people, I knew some interns who literally part of their job was to go to Magic Kingdom, watch the fireworks, and just count how many misfires there were. That was like part of their job. There's like my job, which is kind of more businessy. There's communications, there's PR, there's so many different aspects of the company. There's Disney Cruise Line, there's Disney Parks and Resorts, there's the actual parks themselves. Like, there are so many, I couldn't even tell you. There's like veterinarian internships. I know some work in Animal Kingdom, plant science, like so many, I can't even cover them right now. So you're gonna have to research those based on your experiences. Sorry I couldn't be more help there. But those are all the questions that I did receive on my Instagram story. I know I kind of covered my like personal story, but I do have some older videos on my channel if you want to like scroll all the way back. I think I did like a day in the life of an intern and like simple Q&As and just like random days that I would go to the parks on my internship. So if you want to check those out, they're kind of old now, but I mean, if you're interested, go and check those out. Don't forget to check out my next video where I talk about more in depth my experience and how I got my role. So there you have it. There's my experience with Disney Professional Internships, and happy applying. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any further questions, you can go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. Disney Point. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Have a magical day.